We just saw the worst Raw after WrestleMania of all time. I get it, it's inside the Thunderdome. And the appeal of Raw after Mania is the crowd. But still I wish WWE tried something different and gave us a few surprises because the expectations of Raw after WrestleMania are quite high. It's always what's gonna happen at the end of Raw after Mania show. Will we see Samoa Joe returning? Will we see Brock Lesnar coming back? CM Retribution. Yes. We saw Retribution attacking Drew McIntyre and perhaps joining the Hurt Business. What? Welcome back to another episode of Greatness of Raw. How are you guys doing today? We saw Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre at Backlash. We saw Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. And now we're seeing Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania Backlash. A pretty interesting coincidence. The only thing I liked about this episode of Monday Night Raw, not an ordinary episode, Raw after Mania, is that we got a number one contenders match. Finally, people have to earn opportunities. We'll see for how long. It seems like WrestleMania Backlash is bigger than WrestleMania. No, seriously people, we saw Retribution ending the Raw after Mania. I'm not joking. The show kicked off with Bobby Lashley arriving to Monday Night Raw and he gets greeted by Riddle. Of course, Matt Riddle wants the WWE Championship opportunity. He's being annoying, reminding what Bobby Lashley said in the past until he gets some. And it's official, we're gonna see that match opening the show. So we saw a non-title match between Bobby Lashley and Riddle, and I guess it was pretty interesting, a match opening the show rarely happens in the WWE. The match itself was pretty fine, but let's be fair, it didn't feel important at all. Now obviously Bobby Lashley wins the match with the Hurt Lock, and that was basically it. Honestly, I expected a promo from Bobby Lashley, talking about how he defeated Drew McIntyre, and I honestly wanted to see Bobby Lashley being interrupted by the challengers himself, and that's not exactly what we got. Then we saw Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander with jobber entrances, and the returning Viking Raiders. So we got the match and it was pretty obvious that the Viking Raiders are going to win. Now, Shelton and Cedric were not squashed or anything like that, so that's a plus. But we all knew they're gonna lose, and that's exactly what happened. The Viking Raiders made a return and won the match. So, I really feel sorry for Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. We saw Charlotte Flair turning heel again. I guess it's the same crap over and over again. Now, I'm not gonna be sorry for being this damn good. I'm gonna take the opportunities and whatever. Basically, Charlotte Flair is a heel again, and now she wants to be pushed down our throats. I don't mind Charlotte Flair, great wrestler, but so tired of her. And the biggest reason is not necessarily her being pushed so much. The biggest reason is she never changed her character at all. I'm Ric Flair's daughter, look at all the robes I have. Not a single character change except for being a heel or a babyface. We saw a Raw Women's Championship match, Asuka vs Rhea Ripley WrestleMania rematch, and that was a pretty similar match. I didn't really care about that match at WrestleMania, so this wasn't really that interesting to me, which is unfortunate because two women are very, very good. It's just that the build was just so bad, it pisses me off. The match ended in no contest because Charlotte Flair interfered. She attacked both Asuka and Rhea Ripley and stands tall because now it's Charlotte's time. Ooh, can't wait for Charlotte Flair to win the championship for the 69th time. I kinda like this whole Miz, Morrison and Maurice thing. John Morrison is just third wheeling, and I absolutely loved it. Hopefully Maurice is actually going to stay. So we got Miz TV, and she's here, to basically promote Miz and Mrs. Morrison says, what about Miz, Mrs. and Morrison? I love this guy. Like, John Morrison is actually pretty funny. He takes all the credit for Bad Bunny's performance at WrestleMania, and then we got Damian Priest saying that even I wouldn't take credit, Bad Bunny trained his ass off. Miz wants to face Damian Priest, Morrison wants to face Damian Priest as well. Maurice says, what about both? So we got a handicap match, and that was pretty alright, I guess. Makes Morrison and Miz look kinda weak, but still they won the match because Maurice distracted Damian Priest and Miz won the match with a roll-up, and it seems like there's some miscommunication between Miz and Morrison. I guess during the promos you can kinda feel it that Morrison is being pushed away, and I really hope that Maurice is staying because it makes the Miz so much more legit. Like, people don't understand that Miz's Intercontinental Championship title reign was not only special because of the Miz. Maurice really helped. They just have that my shit doesn't stink kind of feel. And hopefully this whole thing is leading to Miz versus Morrison. Miz just won't need Morrison anymore and he's gonna betray him, you know, or Morrison will feel betrayed. And maybe Morrison is gonna get attacked, Miz is just gonna run away with Maurice, and Morrison is gonna realize that, you know, Miz is just using him. So hopefully this is the story they're going with, because I really want to see John Morrison as a babyface. We saw kind of an explanation from Alexa Bliss saying that, you know, she got taken to the darkness because she needed that and she needed the Fiend, but now she doesn't need the Fiend anymore, or something along those lines. The Fiend, also Bray Wyatt I should say, talked during the Firefly Funhouse, but during that he didn't explain anything, like, at all. I'm back, guys, and now it's gonna be a new season or whatever, and I don't miss it at all. Man, Firefly Funhouse, first like 5 maybe, pretty good, and now it's the same crap over and over again. I hate it. Like, I know it's really not cool to hate on Bray Wyatt because the man is very creative and talented, but the Firefly Funhouse, I fucking hate it. Nia Jax made fun of Mandy Rose's slip at WrestleMania. This led to a match, Jax and Baszler versus Mandy and Dana, and that was, man, this is what I hate about the WWE sometimes. They had to recreate the moment, you know, now they're intentionally botching. What's also interesting is that Mandy and Dana left the match because it's not worth it. What? Really? I mean, I can't complain. You know, wasn't really that interested in the match, but still. I hate being this negative, I'm sorry. It's just that my expectations weren't that high in the first place, and this episode was like, not even that good for a regular Monday Night Raw. MVP says Bobby Lashley wanted to address the WWE Universe, but he feels way too disrespected, so he's not going to. He says, Drew, it's okay to be number 2 when the Almighty is number 1. He says if Drew McIntyre can't handle the Hurt Lock, who can? Then we saw Drew McIntyre, and he admits he made a big mistake for allowing himself to get distracted by MVP at WrestleMania. That's also really stupid, by the way. Why would you get distracted during a WrestleMania championship match by MVP talking? Like, that made Drew McIntyre look really, really stupid. I wish MVP just threw something in the ring, or I don't know, got inside the ring and that way distracted. This made no sense. Then we saw Braun Strowman, Randy Orton, everyone wants a championship match. Adam Pearce says in the main event, we're gonna have a triple threat match to determine the number 1 contender for Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship. Good, that's the way it should be. But I still expected something more. Because yes, this match is big, I guess, but I expected some kind of a, I don't know, return, surprise, or a big moment, but that was the highlight of the show, the triple threat match. We saw Elias getting interrupted by Xavier Woods' trombone, and this led to the New Day versus Elias because, you know, the New Day made fun of Elias and Riker for getting handled by Braun Strowman, but they said, well, that's exactly the same thing that happened to you at WrestleMania when you lost the championships to Amos. Anyway, so that was why are we getting this kind of crap? As a matter of fact, the New Day won the match. Who honestly gives a crap about Riker and Elias? I really can't stand these two, and not because they're good heels, they're just that damn boring. Elias is great, but this is not working. Randy Orton says Bray Wyatt disappeared and now it's time for him to focus on the WWE Championship. How do you know? How do you know that Bray Wyatt doesn't care about you anymore? Are we seeing The Fiend versus Alexa Bliss now? Are WWE giving The Fiend's gimmick to Alexa Bliss? Because it seems like the focus is on Alexa now and not The Fiend. Ever since Alexa Bliss joined The Fiend, I just don't like The Fiend anymore, or Bray Wyatt. It completely ruined the character. From a monster who doesn't care, who's barely a human being, to someone who just focuses on pussy. I'm sorry, you get the point. And of course, we saw the number one contenders triple threat match, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton versus Braun. And the match itself was, pretty okay, I guess. We have two talented people and Braun Strowman, so it wasn't that bad. The thing is, I'm not crazy about either match against Bobby Lashley. Whatever, the finish was pretty okay. We saw Randy Orton with an RKO, Claymore, Drew McIntyre takes the W, and he's going to face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. Backlash. Considering the ending of this show, I guess Mace and Boner, or whatever his name is, are now in Retribution. I mean, the Hurt Business. And it's like, okay, that's not an improvement. That's definitely not an improvement. So, I don't mind this match. I still like Drew McIntyre. I don't plan on turning on the guy anytime soon because he's definitely an amazing babyface. Am I crazy about this match to wait for a whole month to see again? I don't know. I don't want Drew McIntyre to win the championship yet, by the way, as well. He needs to win the championship in front of a crowd, which is maybe, hopefully, SummerSlam. Now, I would prefer Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley, honestly. Or a triple threat match, maybe. Because that's the match we never seen before, and what else Randy Orton is going to do on Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to turn into a triple threat match. So anyway, that was your Monday Night Raw. Like I've said, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm just saying, this is definitely not the quality from a Raw after WrestleMania show we expect. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, the great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.